Greetings, one and all, to this week's episode of Tenno Clock, brought to you from a hovel, because I've packed the majority of my stuff. Episode 458 of Tenno Clock. We're here to talk about Warframe and nothing but Warframe, maybe a little smidge of Soulframe, but mostly Warframe. I am joined with Murder Dr. Loz as he tips his cap. I say that because if anyone
doth
tip your cap. Right, okay. Yep, so we're here to talk about Warframe as we do every week, and the first thing we're going to talk about is Emblems. There we go.
I win.
Yes. I do like how clean cut.
Yours is good. Yeah, no, yours, especially the A.
Yeah.
I love the A with that circular ring. It's very nicely done, but I'm sorry, it's just not the same tier. It's a very good emblem, but I think mine's better.
Part of the reason why I'm not hugely fond of yours is because it's that very common blue gold motif, which you see in a lot of clan emblems. However, if you really actually break that down against the
blue gold motif, sorry, just look at the background. Blue gold.
Yeah. But if we're going to be like for realsies, if we compare the blue gold motif against the edgelord motif, I think I'd rather have the blue gold motif.
Yeah, you're right. It's not much better, is it?
No. So let's say yes, yours wins. But if you wish to win 75 platinum,
just keep going. No, I'll get there. Sorry, I just click buttons.
Time.
That's not right. That's not an emblem. That's an emblem.
There we go. All right. So if you wish to win 75 platinum for your platform of choice, go into the description below. Well, you'll see a Google form link to this week's episode polls. You'll have seen those two emblems in there, along with the opportunity to enter your in-game name, and choose your platform. I feel there's something else, but I completely forgotten it entirely. You've got to make sure that your details are correct, because if you do win 75 platinum for your platform, then but you haven't put your in-game name correct, no one wins for that platform, right? I know there is someone in there that just puts a crap ton of commas and then hi. And if that person ever wins, and I send that to D, and D goes, Xeno, that's not a real person. I was like, well, then no one wins for that console. I think it's PC. So, and you'll just have all the PC players hating you, though no one knows who you are. Right. So, I think that's it for emblems, I think. So now it's to talk about Dojo Dusting.
Hang on. I was like, okay, I'm going to mine because I need this Namalon stuff. And I was like, I mined one thing and I think I got the thing I needed right away. So I have to check. Right, let's get rid of these memes. Let's get rid of the meme. And you want... No, I got rid of the meme. Go on. There we go.
Cool. Right. So, obviously, I'm moving, right? We are actually recording this the night before I am moving. But hopefully this means I will have good people internet and be able to, do the heavy lifting that Loz has been doing for the longest time of recording the episodes and getting them up on the internet. And I just want to say, you've been covering this for the last, 2-3 years, and I massively appreciate this. Like, you have saved not only the show, but my ass. Because, if I was to upload this, it would take at least the entire weekend to do.
Oh yeah, you'd have to spend your weekends doing nothing but loading. No, that's,
yeah. So I just want to say,
you say that. I think there could have been other solutions. Like you could have found a internet cafe or something where you could have pre-uploaded it or something.
Potentially, but still, it's a huge lifesaver.
Yeah, it needed doing.
It did need doing, and you stepped up. You said, I
think it was like, no, I can't do it. No, okay, fine, but you need to bring it to me. Okay, I'll bring it on USB. I'm like, okay, fine, come to Wolverhampton. I ain't coming over there every week. All right, and then you got on the tram.
Yeah, but then after that, when the tram was no longer available, you were like, oh, I'll record it then.
I think you just somehow subtly convinced me.
Anyway,
Why was the
anyway.
tram not available? I can't remember the tram not being
No, because the pandemic went like no traveling whatsoever.
Is it only been like 2-ish years you've been living in that place?
No, I've been living here a bit longer than that. It's just over 3 years.
But you uploaded, then that means you must have been uploading from there. Did your internet get worse?
No. I was uploading, but it would take a sweet ass time. Like I would lose the entire weekend. You then offered to do it with USB. So then for like months, I was coming over to you to.
Yeah, I know.
I
get that bit. I just remember. I don't understand the bit. How did you convince me to do this from beforehand? You must have been up for months. You must have been uploading over the weekend, and then you're like,
yes.
I can't be bothered to do this anymore. Loz, do it for
me
I didn't. I want my weekend back.
No, you nicely offered.
Nah, I can't remember that. You got no proof.
I feel you've brainwashed yourself to think that I've brainwashed you.
Cleverly convinced me, and then at some point you convinced me, Loz, I can't be bothered to get on a tram or whatever, or just come up with a method.
No, the what you call it, COVID pandemic.
Loz,
we weren't
like,
allowed
download
out.
all these things I tell you and do the recording for me. I'm like, all right. I think that's how it went.
You make me look really bad now.
I think that's how it went. Pretty sure.
Anyway, but yes, I'll be taking over the recording, and I'll give Loz all his fanciness. We'll put in background music. We'll put in cool sliding. It's like news, and what's called. You'll have it all, Loz. I'll give it to you all.
I've got to wait a day. I'm not on platinum. I need Prime Access. I've just built my segment. Look, I've got to wait a day.
Well, why don't you just rush? Well, I mean, you don't have any Archon shards yet, do you?
I got one. I got last week's.
You did get last week's.
Yeah, of course, I got last week's.
Oh, well, when I spoke to you on the day before, you were like,
no, I hadn't. I think I hadn't done the quest. I had to go do the quest.
Yeah. So what? You did the whole thing in one day?
Yeah.
Like a boss.
Yeah.
Anyway, right.
I don't know if we'll find a time to talk about it, but I was in a lot of ways, because I suppose maybe last week you talked about it. I liked and still had issues, but there was a lot of things I liked about the quest and the lore it was trying to tell, because at least they were like, there's clearly been a lot of plot holes we need to cover up. What were the family doing on Deimos? Yeah. It's weak. It's so weak. It's like paper thin excuse of like, oh, we have to protect the heart of Deimos, so we didn't do anything.
But at least it's something.
Like, yeah, exactly. It's like, it's just like the bare minimum. But I'll accept the bare minimum at this point. I really will. What other problems did it fulfill? There was some other ones as well that it plugged a few holes. I can't remember what. But it does cause other problems.
I do wish that the combat between like the warframes and the sentience was like what we experienced between Carl and the sentience in the Veilbreaker quest.
Oh god, they're paper thin. It's so annoying.
No, but what for the warframes? Or
no, for the Carl, you just choose through them.
Yes, but it was better than the I've just nuked them. Whoops. They looked in my general direction and then they died. Anyway. All right, so I'm moving. That was the main crux of that. But the next thing is there will be no Tenno Clock Monday, the 26th of September. So next Monday, there will not be an episode of 10 o'clock because Loz and I are going away for the weekend, and
we won't be back. No, we're going to a gaming expo just for fun. We used to always go to it. In fact, it's interesting. I just realised the other day the first time we ever met NED staff, which is Rebecca, was at EGX in London.
That's true, actually.
Yeah, it was very hard. They were trying to advertise Warframe's release on console. I don't think it was quite out yet.
On the PlayStation 4. No, it wasn't.
Yeah.
Right? And
they were in the 18-plus area.
Yeah,
there was
ridiculous.
Absolutely no way of knowing they were in there. The only thing you would see is there would be people walking around with the Warframe ninja headscarves, and we knew they were there somehow. Yes. And we were desperate to try and find them, but
pictures,
who knew what they looked like, who knew what we were looking for, were like, "Is it in there? Is it what is it?
Yeah.
What?"
So
it was so ridiculous.
We crawled across the entire convention, and the only thing we could conclude was it had to be in this one place we could not see.
Yeah.
Right. And it was so we could actually get to like an upper floor, and we could see one half of the age restricted area.
Yeah.
But it didn't show us the other side, so we assumed it was the side we couldn't see, and lo and behold, it was. And then we went to go. We played it, and like, we just, oh yeah, no, we play on PC. We love it. We got into it like a few months ago. It was brilliant. And we were
I
leaving.
remember that. It's like, yeah, so obviously they have to try. There was no advertisement for going in there, and it was ridiculous. When you went into that area, you had a choice. I think there was God of War or something, or Warframe, and you had to pick which. Once you've queued to get
Call of Duty. It was
Call of Duty. So you've queued to get in
Killzone. Right, Killzone.
Killzone. That's it. Yeah. You've queued to get into the PlayStation area, and then you know Killzone. Obviously, that's got advertising around the thing, and it's like, right. Do you wanna play this game you've never heard of, or Killzone? It's like, so they had to they had to convince people to play it, because you had to pick a choice. And once you'd played one game or the other, you were out. That's it. You'd have to re-queue again if you didn't pick that. So
twice, two queues.
Yeah.
One to get into the PlayStation zone, one to get into the 18 zone.
Yes,
and it was ridiculous because when we first got there, it was a 3-hour wait time for the PlayStation zone. And then at one point in time, we just it was like, oh, let's try to go. And then it's like we walk past, it's a 45-minute wait. We're like, oh, let's just do it. Let's queue now. Let's try now. And because we didn't want to spend the entire day trying to get in there if it wasn't there.
Yeah.
And then I remember my favorite bit was remembering when we were leaving. Do you remember what happened?
No.
So we were leaving, and I stopped you and your brother, and I was like, Loz. I was like,
oh yeah, no, I remember. Yeah.
I think that's Rebecca. It's like,
Yeah.
no, she wouldn't come all the way over here just to pimp Warframe on PlayStation. No, I genuinely think, like, I had no mobile reception. I had no data, right? Because like the place is lead lined or some crap like that, and we had to use your brother's phone to check her Twitter profile picture. I was like, I swear that's Rebecca. Sure enough, I when it's, are you Rebecca? I was like, yeah, and like got her to sign at least my headband. I don't know if you guys got it. Your
sign. Remember, yeah. But no, I just remember her when we first started playing. I can't remember exactly. Oh no, I can't remember exactly what it was now. But so she, it's like if you guys play Warframe, it's like we play on PC. And it's like okay, so Warframe is a MMORPG or something like that. She was joking and saying something else because obviously we already knew it. She didn't have to give us the spiel, so she just started joking with us and saying like, I can't remember, that was a cooking simulator or something. She said something like that. It's like, yeah. So that's why we're going to EGX again because obviously there's going to be nobody there, but we're just doing it because we like that.
Games.
And I am massively messing this up, but we're just going to take some time off and play games. So there won't be. It's 4 days and we do all 4 days, so there's no way we can record 10 o'clock this week. And we've just had a release. We'll be back a week later, and it's just
it's fine.
Yeah. Anyway, enough about that. That's wasting time. How much time we wasted? God, look at all the time we're wasting.
Should we move on to the war report?
Yeah, what am I doing? Can I pause? At least, hang on. Okay, there we go. Right, war report. There we go. Right, let's try and save this. What am I doing?
Failing. Right.
Clearly.
So,
hack the
one piece of news that has semi come out. So DE have actually sent out an email to anyone that has pre-purchased the Avara statue since like last year.
Oh yeah.
Right. So there were delays. It was supposed to be shipped out earlier this year, but I think it was supposed to be for TennoCon, but it didn't happen. There have been loads and loads of delays. They are hoping from communications with their suppliers, it should be released as of December 2022. This does mean I need to contact DE and get my address changed on my actual order because currently it's stuck on my current place. But this doesn't mean that it won't be delayed again. There's a chance of getting delayed again till early 2023, but it was just a status update with that. Yeah.
Cool.
Quiet for PC. Right. What else we got? And then I know I had some correspondence. There it is. I think that's all I've got. I don't think. So it's the second week of the. Oh yeah, of course. There's the second week of the Veil Breaker, the Archon hunts. So we have the red Archon crystals have come out. We've also had the Veilbreaker missions, so you get to play as Carl to do a mission. I don't know if you've tried it yet.
Not the new one, no. No, I haven't tried this week.
Okay, so they seem to reset on, I think, Mondays, so you may want to get to that.
What are they? They do separately, do they?
Different release, different reset days. So Archons are Wednesdays, and Carl seems to be Mondays. Personally, found it very, very cool. I do know plenty of people that got very frustrated with finding the Chipper's tools. You have to find this one bag with Chipper's tools in it, and if you don't have a keen eye, you'll miss it. So, yep, there's that. They also did a little bit of a faux pas. All right. So they've actually shown, in order to get the second Archon shard of the week, you have to spend 90 stock, which you can easily do in the week's missions, as well as be max rank with Carl's Syndicate, right? You go up one rank for each successful unique mission you've done, so that you get one rank up per week if you do the mission that week. So we won't be able to actually buy those Archon shards for at least another 4 weeks.
Right.
Yeah. So even though we have the stock to buy them, we cannot buy them for 5 weeks until we are max rank. So they're just going to be, flaunted in our faces. Yep. They have spoken about some additions. I'm not entirely sure where the source is, but Nazeth was reading them out to me earlier. They are talking about making some quality of life improvements already to the Veilbreaker missions with Carl. So, for example, in order to do the mission, you have a main objective, but in order to get the currency for the Syndicate, you have to do the secondary objectives, like picking up Chipper's tool bag, or getting some gene stamps from Dead Fallen Grenier, or freeing some, what are they called? Veiled Solarians, right? In order to but if you fail to do it by the time you've completed the mission, you have to start again from scratch. They are investigating making it so that you can so that the progress persists, so you can continue from where you left off in your later runs. Yeah.
Okay, I get you.
Yeah, so I think that's going to be a nice quality of life improvement, because when I was doing it my second or third time, I struggled to find any of the veiled dudes forever. And you can run the Carl mission as many times as you want, but you only get the secondary objective reward once. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, that's it. I think in a nutshell, in terms of this week, there was a video about the music of Soulframe.
Right. Sorry, I'm being too focused and distracted on that. I need to not do something so hard, because I'm like, okay, I'm failing this miserably. So yes, back to this.
Yeah. So there was a video about the music of Soulframe.
Yep.
So it was like, oh wow, you're already doing, music stuff.
That's cool.
This early into okay. I'll see how I have not watched it. So I'm not going to lie, I haven't watched it. And I think that's about it for the war report. Do you have anything else?
I do. Wait, can I get in that lift? I can't. I fail at lifts. I don't know how I turn myself around. I do, because if I scroll up, I see Prime Resurgence returns.
Oh God, yes.
Go for it.
Prime Resurgence has returned. Oh, it's going to be indefinite now if I read the notes correctly. So then there's no longer going to be Prime Vaults every 2 months. It's just going to be constant Prime Resurgence, and the relics for the different Warframes are just going to rotate in and out.
Yes. Yeah. So it's... I don't know about... but you'll still have the ability to purchase right away. It's basically still like Prime Access in a way, but it's just more automated, and just you can always purchase the... You'll always be acquiring the resources to get the stuff, so you can get them in game. You just have to wait.
Yeah. It's entirely dependent on when the Warframes in question, when their relics come into rotation.
Yeah.
Why are you running this again?
Because I'm doing the easy missions rather than starting on the hard missions.
Oh, that makes more sense now.
Now it's brainless, so I don't have to think, instead of going, right, I was getting screwed over by Necromech, because I was not paying attention, because I'm not feeling like, how damaged is my Necromech? I was like, God, my Necromech's losing. I should turn the shields on. I'm an idiot. Yeah, I'm trying to think of 2 things at once. Yeah. Anyway, that's it for the war report. So that's kind of cool. Good to know things are happening. I don't know if it's weird though, because was Prime Vault. I suppose Prime Vault was just too slow. Maybe this will be more.
Yeah, it's just a case of they got far too many Prime Warframes now.
Yep. Right. Let's move on then.
Cool. So we got our 3 topics for this week. So topic 1 is, am I the only one who keeps forgetting Caliban exists? Topic 2 is, look at that. They're nerfing the fun out of Styanax after we spent just a week playing him. And Syntax, the digital Warframe with art. That's our community concept. Cool. So, we good to start the first topic? Yeah. Am I the only one who keeps forgetting Caliban exists? Caliban seems to be the most forgettable Warframe out there, which is really sad. I don't even know what his abilities are. Yureli may have a laughably weak kit, but at least I remember her for being, weak. I'm not saying he's a bad Warframe or anything like that. I respect any Caliban mains out there, but he just seems really forgettable. So my question to you is, how many of the Warframes do you know how to play properly? Like you know how to play your Excalibur?
I can... Or no, so that's when you say play properly, I don't think I play any Warframe properly.
Okay, play to same level.
Hang on. Here's a better way of doing it. Is what Warframes would I take into a use? Which would I use? So if I just scroll through this here, would I bother with Ash? No. Which would I bring to different jobs? Excalibur, obviously, I would play to, because that's my favourite one to play with, and I just would play it all the time. Frost or Limbo, maybe I would bring for defense things. Harrow, I could probably play Harrow. I do need to keep reminding myself each time I do it, but I have a good build for my... I actually have a build for a Harrow, which it's not my build, I copied it. So Limbo, obviously, yeah, I know. I don't know. I would use him for things like, for instance, silly defense targets where I have to spam Rift on the defense person to keep them alive, because that's just stupid, but yep, that's what you would do. What else could have I got in here that I would actually make use of and do things with? Saren. I could use Saren because Saren's easy to do. It's just ridiculous.
No, Ivara.
Yes,
no
that's the only one I was waiting for was Ivara. I would say, yeah, there we are, Ivara. Yeah. Ivara I would use for any stealth missions or anything like that. Now, apart from that, I don't think I would pick up. Maybe either a Nyros or Nidus if I were required to do a mission without shields. But would I use their abilities? No, I have no idea how they work. That's about it. So we got that Excalibur, Frost, Limbo, Harrow, Ivara. Now it's not that I don't know how any other Warframe works or something, but that I feel I would get the most out of them in a mission and actually use the Warframe abilities and do things with them. All the other ones, I'm like, Gauss. Like I keep trying to play Gauss. And I'm like, I'll run at things. I'll frost or fire effect. I don't know. I'll hold it down this time, and then I'll tap it, and then red line. Yay, red line. Why? I don't know. Grendel, I rolled something. I don't know. Oh, sorry. And there's one more Necros. Because you push Desecrate.
Fair.
Everyone knows how to play Necros. Yeah, you push Desecrate once, and then that's it.
I thought, yeah, okay. It was the
you push it once.
Yeah, but you push it.
You push it. Yeah.
But you push it.
You? How about you?
So
no, actually, there's one more. There's one more. Sorry, I was so spotted, which is Mesa, because you push 4, and then you watch me. You watch.
You get vomit with it. Yes.
There we go. That I definitely think is it. I don't know how to play Oberon. I don't know how to play Nyx or Octavia. Protea. I've tried to play Protea lots. I just don't see the point. The turrets just don't. They last for 2 seconds. It's like whoop-de freaking do. I could just shoot in that time.
What about Wisp?
Nope, never got into Wisp at all. At all. Fine. Never got into Wisp.
Well, I'm
Equinox.
I see. This is
Hildren. I really keep trying to get into Hildren. I love the concept of Hildren. I've always been a favourite of shields. I've hated all these people like, just ignore shields. Build health and armor. Health and armor. Yeah. So many freaking years in this game. It's build health and armor. I was like, yeah, shield warframe. Yeah, it's really cool. She can fly and things, and it's got shields galore. And I just don't. I just like play it, and I'm like, okay, but I'm just shooting things.
Okay, so I used to know how to play Chroma, and are you just going to scroll to the top?
I'm trying to find Chroma. Hang on. Do you know what would help? That would help.
Alphabetical order.
That would really help.
Okay, so let's scroll to the top. Let's go to the top. Ash, no. Atlas, yes. I actually do quite like Atlas, but I barely ever play him. Banshee, I used to play a lot.
Maybe it's probably better. Instead of going for my ridiculous what's in my list, it's probably the Codex. It's probably a better choice for this, isn't it? Have a look here. There we go. That's better.
Okay. So I assume that's Ash in the top left.
Ash, yeah. Atlas.
So Atlas, Banshee, I used to play a lot, but then when they changed how she cheesed, oh god, what's the I can't. Is it Hydrus or Hydroid? Hydroid. No, it wasn't a Hydroid. Fuck, I can't remember what the name of the damn node is. But when they changed how her Soundquake worked,
yeah,
I stopped playing her.
Okay.
Baruch, I have no idea.
I have no idea. That's a Bone Widow. Ignore that.
Okay.
Caliban?
No idea. Chroma, I used to know. Ember, I have played. I'm much better with her now. Like, I much prefer her abilities, but still not well enough. Equinox is, if you don't play it enough, you forget. I forgot.
Yeah, exactly.
Excalibur is easy enough to play, but I don't really touch him. Frost, I choose Limbo.
That's, I agree with that. Like, I actually started playing Frost for the last week's thingy bounty, right? Because Frost was the one on there. And I was like, I'll put up bubbles and things. And it's like, but I could just play Limbo. Even against enemies, they're really high level enemies. I'm like, because it'll be really good because they'll buff my bubble. My bubble will last. No, just play Limbo. I really think they need to address this at some point.
Yeah. Gara, no idea. Garuda.
You tried. I remember you tried for Garuda.
No, I know how to play Garuda because Sliverito taught me how to play Garuda, and I want to give out another shout out to him.
Okay.
Gauss, no idea. Grendel, no idea.
Gaia. Now you see, this Gaia is the one to me. I do not know how Gaia works. I don't know.
Right. I have tried Gauss and Garuda. Sorry, no, Gauss and Grendel. Sorry. I don't like Gauss and I don't like Grendel. I just don't like their playstyles at all. Gaia, I've not played properly. Harrow, I feel needs a buff because he is too. So he is very reliant on dealing damage to enemies that are chained, but considering how damage is through the roof now, you can't kill the shit that you've chained. And I think he did get it addressed with this since I last played him, but he was so much harder to play because stuff wouldn't stay alive nearly long enough. Yeah?
Yeah.
Hildren, I have no idea how to play her because when she came out, I played her on all Valis and everything was dying to my gun better than her. Hydroid, I do know how to play, don't really care. Anairos, I don't know how to play. I probably knew how to play. Avara, 100% on board for that.
Yeah,
but I rarely have a stealth.
Yeah, but there's just I just don't feel the need for it to do it. Yeah, God, I got so many things.
Cora,
level up.
Don't really know how to play.
I don't know how to play Cora.
Lavos would be good if you got rid of the stupid cooldown. Limbo, we've already spoken
Limbo
about.
is
Loki.
Yeah, I know how to
Loki.
play Loki. Simple. It's
I
like,
love my Loki, but I've been banned from ever playing Loki.
I just want to
again,
point something out though.
so-
There's like Loki, whereas like each ability I just feel does a thing, right? Compare that
Yeah.
to like Harrow, where it's like, oh, you've got to use this with
Yes.
this, where you keep this buff to link
Yeah.
with this buff with that thing. Loki's like, I switch teleport.
I think
Harrow's like, first
Loki-
I do this, and then I cast the buff, then I engage with my shields and health, and then I shoot in headshots to restore energy to eventually stack up the thing to use my ultimate. I go invisible.
I think Loki is the only Warframe in existence not to have a rework.
Oh yeah, I don't. Yeah.
I don't think he's ever had a rework. Ever.
Well, what have you got? Invis, switch teleport, decoy, and
radial disarm.
Radial disarm. Yeah, I think it is. Oh god, and we used to think he was one of the worst Warframes. He is literally.
We were so wrong.
I think he is the perfect Warframe. I don't think he's ever had a rework.
Yeah.
My word,
Oh,
that
man,
is
I'm
crazy. Yep.
Anyway, Mag, dunno. Mesa, pew pew gun. Mirage, dunno. Necros,
I think
press one button.
Yep.
Nezha, I like a lot. I do play Nezha quite a bit when I want to change a pace.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like his survivability with his warding halo, and put adaptation on that, and it's just like, he ain't gonna die.
Okay.
I really like Nezha. Nidus. I used to know how to play because I used to play him a lot.
Oh really?
I forgot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I
Nova, you push 4.
Nova. No.
You push 2 then 4.
You press 1 then 4.
1 then 4. Good. Okay.
You gotta have your null star up. Nick's no idea. Oberon.
Yeah. Okay.
Doesn't deem worth addressing. Octavia, I used to know, thought it was too fiddly, and decided to forget. Protea, I have no idea. I've never played.
Oh, Rhino. I now play Rhino. Exactly like Rhino. Again, it's simple. It's like charge, armor on self, damage buff. There's just AoE stomp, slow everything down, kill stuff. Like, it's so simple. There's nothing to it. Yeah.
Revenant, I don't like
Saren?
this kit. Saren, I did know how to play a hell of a lot, but I didn't like the playstyle, so I stopped. Sevagoth, I've never really gotten into because I've never tried.
Yeah.
Who's that?
Stynex.
Don't know.
Titania?
Don't like Titania.
Now, Titania, like, I could use Titania because I would just go around flying as a thing, but do I think I know that how you're supposed to build the weapons to use to do whatever with?
No,
and then
you
just go
turn
forward
into
fly. Yeah, just
Titania.
fly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, Titania is a camera. That's all she is. Nothing else. She's 100% camera. Trinity, I'm never going to do
Push
my
4.
Oberon like that.
Push 4.
Valkyria, I used to know how to play, forgot. Booban, I used to know how to play, but he's had a rework and I don't know.
That's a void rig.
Yeah. Vault, sure, whatever.
God, I haven't never mentioned.
Wisp, I do know how to play, and I do play quite a lot. Wukong, I don't know how to play.
I'm now actually interested in learning how Wukong works now that nobody plays him.
Good. Zaku, I did try to learn how to play, and I couldn't work it out at all.
Yeah.
Right. Ureli, I've never tried. Zephyr, easy enough to play.
Now, I just want to point this out to people who say, like, oh my god, these people have been talking about Warframe for 400 and bloody, how many episodes, why do they say that, like, 80% of the Warframes they don't know play? Now, that's not, of course, I could pick up Ureli right now, and I could use the abilities, right?
Yeah.
But when we mean that, when we mean using a Warframe, we mean that we're getting the full amount out of it, that we're not just taking the Warframe to a mission and using the odd ability, that we know what and why we're using it, that we can weave abilities into our play style and damage, not just you bring Booban and you push I don't know, 3 or 4 or something, or we play Trinity. I mean, I do know Trinity. It's like, yeah, but you push Trinity. Oh, I play Trinity and I push 4. It's like, yeah, but what are the other abilities doing? I would be able to tell you, and I'd probably use occasionally an Energy Vampire or a Link. I'd be able to tell you what's going on. But if I take Nidus, I'm like, this is Nidus. It's like, and do it. But the thing is, it's not that I couldn't get into it if I chose to, but it's like, but why? What role am I missing? What gain is it? It's only when I'm come against a problem where it's like, oh no, I can't beat this. I go, okay, what should I be using instead then? And look it up,
Yeah.
All right, so what are we actually talking about?
Well, this post was talking about.
Oh, Caliban, yes.
Caliban means super forgettable.
Oh god,
right?
yeah, and Caliban. That's really sad. Seeing as I mean, I have tried to get into Caliban and I just couldn't. But this is Caliban where's the ability? Literally calls down sentience, and this guy doesn't even know what Caliban does. It really does say something about that, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, I get behind what this person is saying. I feel the same with a lot of Warframes.
Yeah.
I feel like so many Warframes are forgettable because like you just don't see them out there.
Well, yeah,
Like I don't think I rarely ever see a Ureli, right? You know,
Yeah.
I think Ureli is potentially one of the most disliked Warframes because of the K drive.
Yeah.
You know, people don't like it at all. And even though she has the spin to win water blades, you know, people just don't like it.
I mean, you call them spin to win, but I don't think they do that much damage really to be
Oh,
that OP.
I've seen people. The only reason I don't think people particularly use it is because it's just a ring. It's not the area within the ring. So if you run past something, it is no longer taking damage if it's inside the ring.
Right, yeah, it's not a circle, an entire filled in.
It's not an area.
It's not a
Yeah.
it's not a circle you filled in. It's just the circle itself. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but again, it's just like, you know, there are so many Warframes that are like,
There's
that's
50.
the thing.
That's the problem. There's 50 Warframes now, and they don't have roles. They obviously do lean into doing different things. Some are more defensive, some are more offensive, some are buffing friends, some are debuffing enemies more. But there's no set roles that they need to fill in a mission that they can only, you can only bring that Warframe or this Warframe. So they just, there's no way for them to have their own niche in the game. So you're never going to like, oh yeah, but I'll take this Warframe for that. I mean, stealth Warframes, we used to have, what is it? Well, Ashe,
Loki,
Avara. So they all do stealth slightly differently. Well, Ashe and Loki are very similar, but I suppose. But, you know, so it's like there's no unique thing to a Warframe. They're all doing something. I mean...
Yeah. They all, like, you know, even fucking... so Oberon has a hot. Like, I think for the longest time, it was just Oberon and Trinity. And then they brought in Equinox to be an alternative healer. But I don't think she was particularly picked up for being a healer. And then they brought in Wisp, and Wisp just like dominates the market. She's the easiest one to get. I think they ended up making Oberon and Ashe a lot easier to get now.
Yes.
Because it was like, you know, it was just so much harder to get. But yeah, you know, Wisp has a heal over time as well.
Well, Wisp's bloody reservoirs are just so... Yeah, they do so much for all these things we were talking about last week about them removing automation from the game, and yet these exist. That, I mean, I guess with Wisp they finally came up with a way of like, okay, you've got Trinity in the game, how do you come up with a Warframe which can compete with that with an equally silly ability? And it's like, yeah, reservoirs.
But the thing with the reservoirs, as far as I understand it, with with Wisp's ability to like improve the damage dealt by the players still have to do something. The problem with the turrets is the fact that literally you put the turrets out and you fuck off.
Which turrets?
The Azima that we talked about last week. The
distinct. Oh yes, yeah, I get you. I know, I'm getting that. I mean that, but it's just like at the same time, you know, they put down the dispense of reservoir thing.
Yeah.
And then people, and let's be fair, everyone has the augment because you play it with the augment. There's no reason not to.
Oh god, you can't not to.
Yeah, it's just better.
It's bad not to.
And then people get a attack speed buff, a movement speed buff, maximum health, regen, and it stuns nearby enemies.
Yep.
What's this ability even do?
Oh god, I'd love
it. Never seen this cast. I've never seen this.
I never see it cast. No one likes it, right? Like I think people like don't want to touch Wisp because, like, well, to be fair, what are they going to change? They're only going to change her fourth ability.
Just for everyone's ability, I'm talking about Soulgate. Wisp's ultimate is just, you know, fires a beam from the sun. Wow, it's like this huge fire energy beam. I've never seen anyone cast that ever.
Yeah.
It also, I felt this was weird for the kit. It's like, so is it about portals? Well, okay, so it brings some reservoir little things, totems down that you have to get buff. It's got a movement. Is that the one that moves? Yes, that you can swap position with. The swap position move thing, very MOBA-esque. What's Breach Surge?
Oh, I think that buffs the reservoirs and stuff like that.
Radius, blind duration. Breach, overwhelm nearby enemies and cause them to release aggressive surge sparks of damage. Oh, yeah, so it also launches from the reservoirs. So it's sort of like a blind and a status chance and damage. So it's like something to do with reservoirs. And then laser beam from the sun. What is this? What? Because it opens portals, I guess the other abilities are like that's a portal. That's a portal. Why?
It's a Kamehameha.
I just feel it's such a weird choice, Wisp. Anyway, so yeah, so Caliban though. Caliban. Have you tried playing Caliban? I can get on with some of his kit.
No, I haven't.
Yeah,
I've leveled him up, but like in all honesty, I've not really learned how to play him because it's the similar problem with Hildren. I'm like, well, what am I fighting against? Oh, look, it died to my pistol.
I mean, I really want to get back into Caliban. I'm maybe just waiting for him to get a premium skin, and then I'll be like, aha. Because it is simple as well. I mean, it's spin to win, stomp, summon ads, and converging laser. It's like it's nothing super smart and Harrow-esque, but I just don't see the point when I can just shoot things.
I mean, the big thing for me is the appeal of Warframes is the support or crowd control.
Yes.
I do not give a flying shit about, or even a sitting shit about damage dealing abilities. I want the crowd control. I want the support. I want the debuff. I don't care about the damage done by the ability.
He does have this kind of thing. So his stomp, you should really like then, because it stuns enemies for they're lifted into the air even for a few seconds, and they take more damage. So it is a definite debuff, enemy debuff.
Cool. Do you know what else lifts things into the air, slams it into the ground, and strips off all armor?
Yeah, but they stack.
What do you mean they stack?
Well, these would stack.
What would stack?
You're about to say Oberon's Reckoning.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Oberon would do Reckoning, and you would lift them in the air, smash them to the ground, remove all their armor, and then this would lift them back into the air helplessly for a few seconds with no armor still, and they take 50% more damage. So the debuffs would stack.
I can only play one Warframe.
Yeah, but you could work with other people.
Well, then they can bring the Caliban.
They can play the Caliban.
I don't want to be Caliban. Anyway, no, I get where this person is coming from. I really do. And I am. Yeah, but I feel it more with a lot more Warframes. There's just so many Warframes. Are just like, I don't know what your abilities are. And I will say, for Equinox, I don't know her abilities only because there's too many of them.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
That's like, you know.
And so so why don't what's the reason why? Well, have you even read the topic out yet, or is it just Caliban
I have.
bad?
Yeah, I have.
There's not much to it, is there?
No.
Right. So the thing, why is it? So why, for instance, I suppose I could do it now. So why do I not get into new Warframes? Obviously, at the start of the game, when years ago I know all the older Warframes quite well because that's what we had. But let's say let's go find something I haven't ranked up, shall we? Ranked up. Wisp! I have never... Look at this. I've not even put a thing on it. Let's go play Wisp. And it's like, okay, so I'm going to go play Wisp.
Have you put mods in it?
Let's put mods in it. That'll probably help. You know what? We're going to do something that most people will probably hate.
Cringe.
There we go.
So cringe.
Oh, actually, I can even give it some arcanes. Let's give it some very tanky arcanes. I do like my tanky arcanes. There we go. Look at that. Oh, do you know what? Let's do a bit of fan service as well. Let's go, yeah. Appearance.
Fashion.
Go random. I probably pushed the wrong one on. Oh, yep. So, let's go play Wisp.
That's a thing.
What even is this?
I mean, no one's going to be able to see what's going on because of that bloody wingspan.
I know. You gotta rely on. Where's the rescue? You gotta rely on the. Oh, I'm just gonna go off and click something.
Do Cassini on Saturn. It's a capture.
Oh, he knows his captures. Where's Cassini?
Up.
Oh, that. There we go. Capture. Why am I doing a capture? Okay.
I literally just said it's a capture.
Oh, okay. Okay, I'll do a capture. Anyway,
You even said he knows his captures.
Rapture. I thought it was rescue and capture. I don't know. Brain. They're the same thing. You just get people and bring them home. Anyway, so I'm in the mission now, and it's like, right, shall I look what abilities I've got? I've got one ability. What did it do?
No, you held it down. Is it tap?
Oh, I put the thing down. Okay.
Right. And then rotate it.
I can't. They're locked.
Oh, because you haven't leveled her.
Yeah. And that's all I get. And it's like, that's all I get. So I now have to go play the Warframe. And as you play the Warframe, you unlock the abilities. So in reality, you need to get the Warframe to 30 and then leave it at 30 but then it's like, oh, but I need to former it. So you go back to 1 again, you go back to this. You're like, okay,
No, but the abilities are unlocked at your MR level.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm thinking from a new place. I'm thinking from a new place. I was about to say, once you get to like master rank 30, then yeah, you'll what you should do is level the Warframe to 30 once, and then start playing the Warframe. Like go to a defense mission, get every people to level up to 30, then former it, and then start learning to play the Warframe.
Go to Sanctuary
Onslaught. Yeah, well, do something to get the Warframe to 30 without playing, get it formed, and then you can start learning the Warframe because you'll have it unlocked. But that's only for people who are master rank 30. But for new players, it's like, okay, so shall I just shoot with my guns, or I've got one ability that I don't know. Is it even going right now? I can't even tell.
It's probably underneath me. So, press. No, I think your mote's dropped actually. So you have to put it out again.
So I have to put it out again. I really think maybe they need to change this. I don't think I've got energy. Oh no, I have to hold. Sorry, I have to hold it, don't I? There we go. Yay! So this is the reason. So why would I go around trying to learn a new Warframe when it's so much effort right now? Or I'll just keep playing the same old Warframes, use the same old weapons, or maybe try a new weapon, and then just.
I mean, to be fair, I only learned how to use Limbo because, oh god, was it a? We had to have this. We had to do this thing. I think it was Nightwave, where you had to do a crazy amount of index without the enemy scoring 1 point. Like that's the reason why I learned how to play Limbo, because Limbo could lock out.
Yeah.
So why change? So yeah, now I'm completely on board. So do you want to go to the replies?
Yeah, sure. So the first reply is, since update 32 fixed his Beyblade LOS being blocked by pickups, I've been spinning into missions with him more frequently lately. Can't get enough of Murder Meat Grinder.
Okay. Fair enough.
Oh, I haven't finished it, sorry. Still can't see anything with dual energy colours aside from black in the second colour slot, but at least the damage numbers and / proc show up. Okay, yeah. Next one is, I never saw Caliban player about 2 months after the update. He's hard to fashion frame because he's literally Frankenstein's monster of Warframe, an ugly asymmetrical hybrid. His abilities are also There's not much he can do that other Warframes can't do better. Even his passive is outdone by max adaptation. If a frame is both weak and ugly, it'll get buried. Survival of the fittest, really. And that's part of the issue. Is like, is there enough space for Warframes to have they don't have their own niche? So it's like, well, what is the point of a Warframe in a game, a tool in a game that doesn't have its own anything?
Yeah. You have a valid point.
I thought I did make a Caliban bit. Oh no, why is it called Wee Wee? I have no idea. Let's go play Caliban. Let's go play Caliban. Oh, he does okay on the fashion frame.
Okay. But you're also someone that doesn't mind about the asymmetry.
I love asymmetry.
Yeah.
Okay, next. I've been using Caliban and Steel Path and Arbs occasionally for quite some time. It has surprised me as well that most people don't play him, as he's pretty fun.
Fair.
That's max rank. Is that done? Yes. Okay. The fact that you farm him in boring bounty that adds nothing to the table besides an annoying new resource needed to craft him doesn't help either. Yes. Yeah. Does that resource actually come in the new missions?
I don't know what the resource is.
What's it called? That's a good question. Gameplay, Warframes, Caliban. It's like Nama bits. Come on, game. Come on.
Do they just call them numb bits?
No, anomaly. No. Nama isoplasts. Yes. Do we get those in the new missions? No.
Or at least not what the wiki would indicate. Not that the wiki indicates.
Cetus bounty, Fortuna bounty. Yeah. That doesn't make sense because Nama.
What?
Okay.
Well, use your words. Use your words.
But it's a Nama resource. You should come from playing against Nama.
Yeah. No, I agree with you.
Yeah. Well.
Right.
Nama invasions when?
Well, I mean, at least we got the Archon hunts and the Carl missions. I mean, to be fair, if I had a choice between these two things and the Nama invasions, it's these two things. These things are really well done.
Okay.
Yeah.
You
Nod.
say so?
Cool.
Nodding.
Well, I do.
Much nodding. What is a phantasma and why do I have two of it? Weird. I don't know. What is that? I'm going to play with that.
Okay. Do you have any final thoughts, or should we move on to the next topic?
Nope.
Cool. All right. Let's move on to the next topic then. So, topic number 2. Look at that. They're nerfing the fun out of Stynax after we spent just a week playing him. Did you like being able to seamlessly use your abilities with Final Stand, giving you a way to skillfully reduce the incoming damage with the cost of energy? Now you can't have fun being stuck in a long ass animation with 0 damage reduction. Okay. Being able to repeatedly use a damage dealing ability that had a side effect of staying in the air too long. Well, now you have to touch the ground to use the ultimate again. What? I'm sorry. This is very.
Well, hang on.
Weirdly
Did you
worded.
like being able to seamlessly use your abilities with Final Stand, giving you a way to skillfully reduce the incoming damage with the cost of energy? Now you can't have fun being stuck in a long ass animation with 0 duration. Duration? I don't know what that is.
No. Damage reduction.
Oh, sorry, damage reduction, of course. Being able to repeatedly use a damage dealing ability that had a side effect of staying in the air too long? Welp! Now you have to touch the ground to use his ultimate again. What?
And then there's a final comment on the original post of, can you guys shut the fuck up about Stynax before he gets nerfed again? So, I mean, is this really that big a deal?
So, Final Stand, is that his ability?
I think so.
Let me get it up. Do you know what it does?
Yeah, you basically jump up into the air, you launch a volley of spears with, I think, ghosts of yourself. You know, you just fire this volley downward for a duration, and then you just stop. So I assume.
So, for our benefits at home, we're talking about Final Stand, which is Stynax's ultimate. Stynax rises into the air 3 meters high from the ground as he summons an army of ethereal warriors aligned in a horizontal concave curve around him. Stynax in his ethereal clothes continuously hurl a volley of 30 Axios javelins thrown at a fire rate of javelins per second toward the reticle location. Each javelin inflicts 1,500 slash damage on direct hit with a guaranteed status effect, then explodes an impact with a surface of 1,500 blast in a 6 meter detection radius.
And from the looks of it, it also gave you damage reduction.
Yep.
And you can continuously cast it to be a stationary turret. And yeah.
So were people
So,
abusing this, just staying in the air permanently, just constantly spamming down
well, I
unlimited
can
spears?
only assume that was the case. Well, no, I wouldn't say unlimited. It was like, until you got energy ran out or whatever. Maybe energy pizzas would apply because it's not a toggle. But even so, it's just people going like, oh, damage reduction. Oh, stay in the air. At least this is what I'm reading into this topic.
I feel
But I mean,
Trinity standing by them with energy vampiring the targets they're constantly killing with throwing javelins at would give them unlimited energy.
sure, but a lot of warframes, while you're using the ability, can still receive energy from other sources.
Not pads though.
It's only
But yeah, that's what I mean.
it's only the warframes that have toggle abilities that you can't.
So
Yeah.
it still would get things from pads because it's not a toggle.
Yes.
Oh god, yeah, I see what you mean now.
So at least that's my theory. I mean, I haven't got anything explicitly in front of me, but I mean that's how a lot of the Warframe abilities were in the past. It was one of the biggest things with I think Valkyria at the time when she would go into Hysteria and she would drop energy pizzas, or the players would drop energy pizzas on the floor to keep her in Hysteria because it was a toggle. So yeah. How do you feel about this?
It's hard to say because I normally don't play. I try not to play a new Warframe in the first week because it's going to get nerfed or it's going to get buffed or something's going to happen to it.
Yeah.
This has clearly finally happened to this. I would like to know why it was nerfed. If it was too good, what was the scenario that was going on there?
Well, I wouldn't be surprised if this is something along the lines of, oh god, what's the name of the damn thing? The Archon sorties, right? Oh, you just stay in the air and you can't take any damage from the Archon.
Yeah.
I think it's hilarious that last time I checked before the update, while you were in the air, while you were aim gliding in the air as Styanax, you could press his one, and which is like he just fires a single javelin. He just launches himself up in the air, and like, cool. So you can't perpetually launch yourself in the air because your aim glide will run out after a period of time. But it was just funny that I'm just going to launch myself in the air. I don't know what I'm jumping off of, but I'm launching myself up in the air. So I think this was a mechanic that was used to cheese something. D missed it, and they quite quickly nerfed it. And I think players that rely on these exploits need to realize that this stuff is going to go away.
Yeah.
I don't really have much else to follow up on that, so I don't know if we want to discuss the replies in more detail, but yeah.
Remind me again. So to get all 4, if I want to level, so I do Steel Meridian to level Red Veil and Steel Meridian, and then if I want to level Cephalon and Suda, is it Suda?
You level Suda, but you do Suda first because
I've got them all maxed. I'm just trying to gain more rep for them. So then I do Steel Meridian till I level up Red Veil.
No. Do Suda first because Suda will deduct Red Veil.
Yes, but I want to build up spare Red Veil to get deducted because I don't want to drop down.
Why not?
Because then I'll go down to 4.
And
I have to get it back up to 5 again.
That all you need to do is just play still.
Yeah, I'd rather keep them all at 5 though.
Fine, you're cool. It's just extra work.
I'm exalted with 4, Drew. 4.
So am I.
Yeah, but you're happy to drop.
Smart.
Yeah, so am I. But you're happy to drop.
No, you're not doing it smart. You're not wanting to drop.
You're willing to drop.
Anyway,
and that's why you're wrong.
Anyway,
all right. Yep. I don't know. It's hard to say. I've not played Styanax a lot to get into it, so I was enjoying his abilities. I started playing him a bit. I didn't think it was that amazing, the ultimate, but I'm sure people can come up with clever ways to break things and make things amazing, and clearly this is the nerf that's had to come for it.
It's sad if it has reduced people's enjoyment of the game and that they weren't actively breaking the game with it. But if there was potential for people to break it, it just has to be fixed. That's my view.
Replies?
You can't have fun in Warframe, which is basically what the game built on. Having fun with variants of weapons and Warframes. But every time a good Warframe comes, good, not OP, they ruin the fun. But they praise the stupid frames like Yoreli or Lavos, or any other unused frame that they're trying to make other play it.
No, I'm sorry. This is someone putting a spin on this, right? I mean, I cannot think of a single instance where, quote unquote, they have promoted Lavos, right? D may have promoted Lavos at the start when he was coming out, but I can't think of a single instance where anyone, no matter who they are, has promoted Yoreli or Lavos.
Yeah.
Right? Yoreli is categorically one of the most shat upon Warframes out there because people don't like her abilities. So I'm sorry, this feels like a
people's bias is showing too heavily.
Yes, that's a very good way of putting it.
Frame gets released. Frame underwhelming. Buff frame. Frame gets released. Frame is OP as heck. Nerf frame.
Yeah.
And that's balance.
This is life. You know? The only, as we literally said earlier today, the only Warframe that has never had a rework is Loki, as far as we know.
Oh, hang on. I have to pause.
Yeah.
Right. There we go. I had to find that. I had to pop it in there. There we go. Yep. Because if we didn't nerf the OP ones,
yep,
we'd end up with that. These balance classes, no nerfs, only balance.
Well, this is the only way that they could balance any of the healers, because they had to nerf Trinity, because Trinity was too OP, right? Why bother taking Oberon, who has a heal over time, when Trinity has a map-wide heal?
No, sorry, an infinite range, maximum health, maximum shield, invulnerability, instant casting heal.
Yeah.
With one button press.
Yeah. Like, there was no reason to ever take any other healer, right? They had to. It was logistically the only way to do it. Out of interest, was that part of the Warframe subreddit, or
it was a meme?
Okay.
I was like,
Sorry, I meant the meme frame subreddit. That's what I meant.
Of course.
Okay. Cool. Right.
Has an auto secondary fire.
Now you know.
Yeah.
Next reply.
It's just fucking weird. They nerfed Styanax. Sorry, they nerfed Styanax. He was above average, but not too OP. Very good design and balance. Meanwhile, they never buff Yoreli, Caliban, or the other third of useless frames, and ignore the crazy OP ones like Sarin and Octavia. Why are we nerfing an above average frame while ignoring the outliers on both sides of the viability spectrum? It's so fucking stupid, I don't understand.
I mean, I feel that there's a degree of ignorance here, because if you genuinely had, and I apologize to anyone if I've misunderstood, if you genuinely had an ability that was giving you a complete 100% immunity to damage, right? I mean, that's a big enough of a reason as to why they stopped it, right? I mean, fuck, all you have to do is just land on the fucking floor before you can cast the ability again. Is it really that big a nerf? Right? Oh no, you want to do your I don't know why this just popped into my head. Oh no, you want to do your maths qualifications, and you want to get like a good mark, and you hate to show your workings, you just want to write the answer down. Tough shit. Yeah, it's not that big a deal, surely.
One would think so, yeah.
One with the.
You're trying to remember how to get in there.
No, I used to go in the middle.
So says the laws.
I'm sure there's some super sneaky way.
Well, you went past like a terminal thing that I thought was, oh look, that's the thing he's going to use to turn off the fence, and you walked right past it. I'm like, oh, okay, never mind. Look at us, experts at playing Warframe.
I know how to play a game. You put mods in gun and hold trigger down.
Oh, okay. I was like, where are you going? I'm like, okay.
Right. Where did I get to? I only played him a little bit after he released, and here's the thing. If you have an insane build and godly arcanes, he's good. But if your build is average, he's really not super good. On the other hand, frames like Octavia and Protea can go 30 minutes into Steel Pass Survival with only continuity. I don't think that's a good metric for measuring a Warframe.
I also don't feel that's true at all. You're telling me only taking continuity allows you to do a 30-minute survival as Octavia, or no, I'm sorry. I call shenanigans.
Yeah. Like
right.
literally no other mods.
Right.
Fair enough
I can
that
imagine
exists, but please think, you know.
I mean, like, I can imagine someone going like, oh, yeah, well, you still have to use Octavia's Mandracord. I'm like, well,
oh, and you still have to have health and shields. Oh, you still have to have a riven in your gun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait, what do you mean use the Mandracord?
You know the Mandracord, which is Octavia's weird piano thing.
Well, of course you'd have to use that. That's like saying, oh, this Warframe can survive into...
Yes, but the statement of you only have to have continuity...
No, that's like them saying Protea can survive for 30 minutes into Steel Power Survival with only warm coat.
Yeah, so we're calling bullshit on it.
No, continuity has to have an effect on abilities. You'd have to use the abilities to do the thing with continuity.
Yeah, but you still have to set up the... You know how you can set up like really cheesy things with Mandracord.
Yeah. I think that's what they mean. But the thing is, though, people just look those up. They don't invent them.
I suppose.
And the final one is, come on, DE, let me ascend as the god of spears Stynax wants to be.
I just really feel that people are just overlooking the actual problem. Or maybe I'm just too ignorant. I don't know. Put it in the polls. Are people overlooking the problem, or is Xeno too ignorant?
If you do play Stynax, because obviously loads of people have it, there's no restriction on it. I think we're still in the window where you can get it for free. Just log in. Yeah. I think at release of this.
Actually, tell you what, we're gonna quick pause
over.
Okay, that was a stupid idea. It didn't work out. So yeah, I've not tried Stynax that much. I've played him during the Sanctuary Onslaught just to level him up, but aside from that, like, you know, I didn't really care for him. Yeah. So unless you have any other comment, shall we move on to the concept? Cool. Right. So moving on to topic 3, or the concept. Syntax, the digital warframe with art. Yes, this was the name back in 2015. I think that's a Tobiah note. So the first ability is identity theft. Syntax steals target enemy's appearance and gives them his, thus making the enemy target their ally instead of him and allowing him to go untargeted. Identity theft lasts X many seconds, and after it ends, will draw aggro towards you. So, and apparently, so they've actually put down like what power strength affects, what power duration affects, and what power range affects. Power strength does nothing. Duration increases the duration of the identity swap and the aggro pull. And then range affects the cast range based at 50 meters, and then the aggro of the AoE afterwards. So, from what I gather from this ability, it's literally a case of swap appearances, and then the Grineer or whatever will target that one Grineer that you swapped appearances with, and just go for them. Yeah. So I think that's a fairly cool ability, though Warframe has not had that capability of the models or anything until the introduction of Carl and Veso, and no, was it Viso, and yeah. So, but I like the idea. I mean, hell, what would happen if we started doing that?
It still doesn't have the ability to do this.
What do you mean?
The problem wasn't that Warframe could swap the models of your character. It's that the models for most of the enemies won't work on a player.
They weren't rigged properly.
Yeah, they're not rigged. At all.
Yeah.
And so they would just mess up. If you try to get into double jump, bullet jump, run quick.
Yeah, because I think I proposed that to Scott for one of the abilities for Wisp. But he was like, yeah, we'd love to, but they're just not rigged in the same way that the player model is, so we can't do it. Fair enough. Thank you for replying. Should we go to the second ability? So we've got Analyze. What?
I'm not stopping you.
Okay, Analyze. Syntax reads the neural data of all the enemies within a 40-meter range and detects their strengths and weaknesses. Syntax will forewarn his allies, marking analyze. I think it should be marking. It says making analyzed enemies deal. Oh, okay. Syntax will forewarn his allies, making analyzed enemies deal 30% less damage and receive 40% more damage. The analyzed debuff lasts 25 seconds. So this is an interesting one, but a part of me feels like I'd much rather have is it Banshee Sonar or just an animal companion with animal instinct. Like I get what they're trying to do with this, and yes, this was in 2015, but I feel like that that could be better. Do you want to talk about that? Like how would we improve the analyze ability? This is a problem I have. Like, a part of me just stack off the whole, radar debuff.
Well, it's kind of just a better Banshee target blob thing without the skill check.
Yeah, I suppose.
I mean, yeah, okay, these things will stack, and it does make them reduce damage as well. Maybe if it was a focused thing, like not on an enemy, but a enemy of that type. So if you put it on a Grineer Lancer or Grineer Lancers, so it's not going to be all the enemies you're fighting, because you're always going to be fighting a mixed enemy pack. But
okay,
it's a sort of like, so it's analyzed. So Steinax analyzes heavy gunners, so any heavy gunners will receive damage effects more, but all the other enemies are going to be fine. So it's very targeted.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. I think I would want to keep the duration aspect of it. So if you was like,
oh yeah, of course, yeah,
kill off the heavy gunner, right? Well, when the next heavy gunner turns up, that one is lit up like a Christmas tree, so to speak.
Yeah. The data, the data still links, so it is,
yeah.
It goes between all allies that analyze these creatures, and as long as there are these creatures, your Warframe has got that information in memory. Let's so say for a few seconds. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I would probably also say that I would want to increase the duration if we were only saying like we are selecting a specific enemy that this is affecting.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, that's a good way of changing it, I think.
Well,
moving on to the next. Oh, yep,
I would also have. I would remove the damage dealt because I don't quite get how that fits lore wise. I would then add in a increases resource drop on that target while they're analyzed on that enemy type, because we're focusing on one thing, a lot of the time you'll use it and then you might not see another one. So I want to add something that has an effect, so there is a benefit, but it's not as simple as ups the damage it takes and reduces the damage it gives. It's rather brute force-ish. I'd like to see something quite unique about it. That, let's say, you analyze them and they have an increased drop chance, and if you every other one you kill before you cast it again, the drop chance keeps increasing. If that makes sense. If you kill a chain of 5 heavy gunners because you analyze them, you can get a good resource drop chance on the 5th one. Yeah, it keeps building up until you have to recast it and then you have to analyze again. I know that's not amazing because it's like, well, how often are you going to kill 5 heavy gunners or something unique in a space of 25 seconds or something? But yeah, you're not gonna. It's good. That's why it's. You know.
I think it's a lot higher than you give it credit for, because of the way that Warframe rotates the enemies. Like you have the same 30 enemies every time. So when you kill them, it respawns in another room somewhere else.
Yeah, but they have to get to you. They don't instantly get to you, and in that time, it's easy drop off.
The other part of me also would like the idea that there's a chance, like a percentage chance, that maybe you could affect that the enemy weapon jams. So, like, I think this exists within Warframe.
Seeing as the next ability is called Glitch, I kind of think that should be in whatever glitches.
Oh, okay, fine.
This is Analyze. Yeah. Well, so do you want any? Is there anything we should add to the ability called Analyze?
No, you're right. Let's leave it at that.
Yeah.
So glitch syntax glitches reverting his body to the state he was at 8 seconds ago, taking him to that location on the same health, shield, stamina, and ammo he had at that point in time. Glitch has no cast time.
Hello, Protea.
No.
That is Protea's ability.
It is. Don't get me wrong. No.
What do you mean, no?
A part of me feels that I've never been a fan of those sorts of abilities where you rewind back to where you were, and
well, yeah, it's Tracer's ability, isn't it? It's Tracer, yeah.
Well, it's not just that, but the thing with Tracer,
Sands of Time kind of stuff.
The thing with Tracer is that you would rewind time back to where you were, and the likelihood of an enemy being behind you is minimal because they're always coming from the same one spawn point, right? The problem I have with abilities like this is if you rewind and like, oh yes, I've rewind into the previous 2 rooms, oh, and there's actually a shit ton of enemies there. Balls. Yeah. It's one of the reasons why I've not liked the way that they've handled this for things like Protea. I never hear anyone praise Protea's rewind ability. I hear people use Protea's dispenser and her turrets and things, but I've never heard anyone praise her rewind ability. I don't think anyone fucking uses it. I could be wrong.
Yeah, well, I don't think anyone uses Protea. I just think that...
No, I have seen people use Protea, but more for the dispenser than anything else.
Yeah, you got the dispense and maybe some stun with the grenades, but that's it. And you can move that dispense onto other warframes. I don't... Yeah. The turrets, I feel, don't last up long enough. It's a turret. I'm sorry. It's going to have to last a few seconds if you want me to use it. Otherwise, I'm just like, well, this isn't a turret. This is just a gun, and I can just pull the trigger on this gun. Why would I want to use this other gun? Oh, it auto-aims for me, I guess. Hey, look, Ember. I don't know. There's things. It's just And then the stun grenades. I'm like, whoop-de-doo, stun grenades, really? And then I don't know. I can't get on with it. Can't be having more of that.
glitch, I don't know how I would address this. Maybe it's a case of nearby.
Yeah, keep going.
Maybe it's like Mirage is. Oh god, what's Mirage? Mirage has an ability where she turns like resource containers nearby or ammo packs or
is it like
laser
House of Fun or something like that? Or
maybe do something along those lines. So why has that appeared?
Why has what appeared?
It's
the memes. Away memes.
So I feel like with an ability like glitch, it would be good if there's a different array of things going wrong. So it could be enemy weapons jamming, which is what we were talking about a moment ago. It could be again containers just explode, right? It could be doors lock, preventing enemies from coming in, or for example, doors that are players not near.
Hall of Mirrors. No, not Hall of Mirrors. That's the first ability. Sleight of Hand? Yeah, Sleight of Hand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, so I just feel like that this would, it would just be a better way of doing it.
Yeah.
Having things just go weird. So, but I definitely wouldn't do the time thing. I get where people come from, but
no. Now that already exists in the game on Protea, that you'd have to completely rewrite this ability. So, I think something as you're saying with affecting enemies, it's called glitch. You don't want to glitch yourself. You want to glitch the enemies.
Yeah.
Glitches normally aren't good. It's only things like, oh look, Wreck-It Ralph, oh glitches are good now. Like, no, they're not. They never were. They lied to you.
The server went down. The server went down. What is this glitch? What is that glitch?
What?
Well, it's just like
I activated the ultimate just as I went in because I wanted to play with the ultimate, and then it did not like that.
Yeah,
got it done though. Yep, very glitched. Right.
Yeah. Last one.
Yep.
So data streams, Syntax, I knew you said Styanax. Syntax begins to stream energy from his allies, which will mitigate 60% of the damage they take onto him. Furthermore, Syntax, Jesus Christ, will also return 100% of the damage he takes out in a shockwave of electrical damage every time he takes damage. The word damage was used way too often in that one sentence. Syntax will also resist. Syntax will also resist damage.
Syntax begins to stream energy from allies, which will mitigate 60% of the damage they take onto him. Furthermore, Syntax will also return 100% of the damage he takes out in a shockwave of electrical damage every time he takes damage. Maybe one damage too many.
I think there's 2 damages too many.
Your damage too many.
Yes. Anyway, so Syntax will also resist damage by 75% while using Datastream. Datastream has a duration of 19 seconds. Oh God! No duration. No. I want to prune some of these durations away. Like, just either make them one-offs or make them toggles, right? I'm
What's a one-off?
So like decoy, you cast it once and then decoy is in full effect.
Decoy has a duration.
Oh my god, fucking fine. Radial javelin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah?
Basically an instant.
Yes, I apologize, an instant. There you go. Right, so let's get a full understanding. So he begins to stream energy from his ally. So basically he's siphoning off his allies' energy, which will mitigate 60% of the damage they take, and I think they give it to him. Furthermore, Syntax will also return 100% of the damage he takes out in a shockwave of electrical damage every single time he takes damage. So he's not actually taking any damage whatsoever. He's just all of a sudden sparking up a storm.
Yeah.
Right? Syntax will also resist damage by 75% while using data stream. So now here's the question for you. If he... This doesn't make sense.
So 60% of the damage taken by allies will move on to Syntax, but then 75% of that moved on damage is removed because he resists 75% of damage. So he'll take 25% of the 60% that is shifted onto him.
But then the damage he's generating surely is only that remaining 25% of the 60%.
No, because he takes all of the damage, he then resists it.
See, I hate shit like this.
Yeah.
Right? You know, I would much rather they say, like, you know, he deals out 100% of the damage he's resisted.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, because it's again about what he takes. Well, technically, he didn't take it because he resisted it.
Or I prefer the term, like, damage that is inflicted at Dynax. You know, then it's like, okay, so it's before any mitigations because it's what's inflicted at rather than received.
Yeah. Or dealt.
Oh, God, these words, yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. There's a lot of maths in this. I mean, as soon as you work it out from the baseline, you're fine. But still, I don't understand what is the point of him siphoning off the energy from the allies
to get a dynamic damage reduction.
Well, they get a damage reduction, sure, but why is he taking their
he gets
energy?
the damage reduction. Sorry, he gets the damage. It's a team damage reduction and then a reduction on Syntax as well.
Yeah, but he is taking their energy.
Well, no, he doesn't take anything from them.
Well, no, it says.
Yeah,
unless
it doesn't actually
unless
take
that's
anything.
just fluff.
Yeah, it's fluff.
Unless that's just fluff. Okay, fine.
I would like to change it. Like, okay, so it's called data stream. How can we change this? Let's make it something interesting. You know how you always have you got Avara, you've got Oberon with their multi-abilities and one ability.
Oberon does not have that.
Sorry, Avara
Booben?
or Booben. Sorry, Booben.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Let's have that on the ultimate so that it can change the data stream. So you can get different data streams which do different things. So you can change which one you're using.
Okay.
It becomes a toggle, so it's either on or off, and then they can alter what the stream does while it's up. So it'll do something default. I don't know what. And then you can alter the stream, and then maybe if you keep altering the stream in some way, maybe use the other abilities to alter the stream as well.
I have a proposition for you.
Yep.
Right. I wanna redo this. I wanna have it so that if you cast his ultimate ability, effectively he gets in a box, right? While he is in said box, he effectively joins another player as a turret, right? So he is able to buff the players. I can't remember the name of the character in Heroes of the Storm that did this. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, Abatha.
Abatha, thank you. Right. So very much like Abatha. So, you know, you can cast abilities while being with another player. I think one of those abilities should be teleport to player, and you just come out of your ultimate and you're now there, right? But there is a duration, and if you don't cast the ability before it expires, you know, you're back at your box, right?
Mm-hmm.
I would give it, you know, maybe a turret so you can shoot stuff. Maybe it costs energy, so like the more energy you expend, the faster you go through this. I would give the ability to buff the player that you're attached to, and also debuff a specific enemy that you're targeting. Right? How does that sound?
You had me at Abatha.
I had you at Abatha.
Now, the camera control for that already exists because we've got when you're dead camera. I think you can spin that around. I think. I can't
Yes,
remember.
you can. For a long time you couldn't, but yes, now you can.
That already exists. And those windows. Oh, I love this still exists in the game.
What, the tile?
Yeah, how many tiles do you really have that are this big?
Oh,
Like, so big that the lighting engine has not been updated for this tile.
Yep.
Got like a mist on it, and then you got like, this object in the middle, but there's something invisible. I don't know. Oh,
No. The scorpion grabbed you.
Oh, why don't they make tiles like this anymore?
So how does that sound for the fourth ability?
Okay.
Abathur.
Yeah. No. I know. Just Abathur. You have me Abathur, as I said. Yeah. I think you might have to rework. Let me have a think. You'd have to have a bit of a rework of the other abilities as well to rebuild this into the Abathur Warframe.
Oh no, I think like while you're in the turret mode, you'd have different abilities.
Oh, different abilities, not the same abilities. Okay.
No. So like the fourth ability would be teleport to player, right? So it cancels the ultimate and will send you to that player. I would then probably put like maybe a cooldown on it or something. I don't know. I'm really hesitant on, or maybe it just depletes all your energy, right? The whatever energy you have. If you have like 200 energy and it only costs you 100, it should just deplete your whole energy. Because I don't want players to just like constantly in and out. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right. So there has to be some kind of limiting factor on that, or maybe it's just the teleporting to other players. You can only do every X period of time.
Maybe if you with the teleport, you give them all your energy as well.
Yeah. I'm down for that.
So yeah, you either go back to your thing and have your energy, or you get teleport to the target, but you also give them energy. So it's a very quick way of giving people energy.
What you could do is the buff. It could be a toggle, and while the toggle is active, you are buffing your friend, but you can't do anything else, right? So they are, or maybe here's one, right? For every enemy you kill while in turret mode, right, you get energy back.
Yes, it would have something like that, but yeah.
So it keeps you active, but you can turn on all of the abilities. So one would be a buff to the players, one may be like a debuff to the enemies around the player, stuff like this. You can toggle them on and off, but it changes the rate of your energy consumption. Yeah?
The rate.
As in, like, so instead of actually having one toggle on, you have 3 toggles on. And like, okay, so your energy supply is only going to last a third of the time.
Well, yeah, because you've got multiple abilities toggled on.
Exactly. So you can toggle them on and off. So you're like, no, I'm just going to give you the energy buff, so the damage buff, or what I'm going to give the personal buff because I do not have enough energy now to turn on the other 2 as well. Yeah?
Fine. I think you're losing me a bit there, but fine, yeah.
Yeah. And then, just Abathur. There you go, Abathur.
Yeah.
Full-blown Abathur. Abathur 100 years. Right. So, yeah, there we go.
On to replies. So, nice idea, even though the glitch sounds more like lag or YouTube buffering. The only problem I have is with the Warframe design. Don't get me wrong, it looks awesome, but personally I prefer something more energy-based, more digital, like holograms around him or something.
Actually, can I pick on the name Syntax? Right? Why Syntax? Of all the things, why Syntax? Right? Syntax is about, written language. It's not specifically about programming or electronics or anything digital, right? You could have gone for cipher, right?
No,
with the whole
syntax.
Information.
It understands the enemies, the different syntaxes, one might say, of enemies.
No.
It identifies them, analyzes them,
too much of a read.
and then glitches the enemy syntax.
No. You could have called it protocol. You could have called it Karabos. You could have called it kernel. You got to call it anything.
So, oh, sorry, I missed a bit there. And I know I'm just nitpicking because I can't even draw. I just wanted to give my 2 coins. Anyway, I like the idea. Second one, at first glance, the name of number 1 makes it sound like it could be useful for stealth, but it seems like it's combat-oriented since it makes enemies alerted. My concern is that a max of 9 seconds is really short for something like that. Factor in animation time too. So data stream is power strength flat addition, like with Nova's slow percent or a normal percentage increase. Like if I put intensify on with a rank 30 syntax, then will the damage reduction from other players be 90% or 78%? In either case, using multiple power strength mods will make both the redirection and mitigation values able to go over 100%. What happens then? Perhaps it should be a percent increase and capped at some 90-95% value like some other frame skills are. Yeah, I would say that those numbers, like the damage it moves over at 60% and the base damage reduction on the frame of 75% are already starting very high.
Yeah.
They should like that. That should be not moddable. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Next one. I really like this concept, though I think his appearance doesn't really give off computer or hacker feel. Yeah, I get that. I imagine. Yeah, no. Like looking at the image, I would call it like Cabal or Neophyte or. I don't know, something like that. Something like
No, I mean, I completely agree with you.
Yeah.
It feels very Kuva, Grenier
Kuva,
design. Yeah.
Castigator. Words like that. It just doesn't start me as like, oh, it's a hacker frame. It's like edgelord hacker
Gibson.
frame.
Gibson. Call it Gibson.
It should be called Gibson. I'm really like that. I really like or hacker. I imagine. I really like the concept, though I think his appearance doesn't really go off a computer or hacker feel. I imagine stuff like wires spindling out of him and cooling fans about his torso to cool his main components. Though I suppose that look might be a tad too difficult to do for a tank. Maybe even a mechanized arm or something to give him something more computer-based to relate to it in appearance. No, I think he needs digital things. So, for instance, like you remember what was the Verve? You know, the Verve Twitch stuff had that weird pattern, but it clearly should have been animated. Like that's what this Warframe needs. Like basically, the Matrix TV screens like should be going down the arms or something, constantly changing and doing.
So I don't know if you remember this.
It should be like constant, and it would change between Grenier script to Corpus script to Tenno script to something
I thought
else.
that was a given, but I don't know if you remember this.
Mr. Lardita.
Trinity, right, has this effect on her face. She has one line of Orokin script that's constantly flowing around her face, and
on the default skin.
On the default skin. And I know this only for one reason. I've had to stare at her face for hours. Do you want to turn off the...
Tried. I'm trying to get the thing up first. There we go.
Zoom in. You can scroll in. Yeah. There it is.
Not much of a script.
No, it really, really isn't. But like, I think this is the sort of effect that you're looking for. I like it subtle like this because you don't really often see it that well. So it's kind of like, you know, you could look past it. But that's the sort of thing you're thinking of, isn't it?
Yes, but more than just the face. I mean, like...
Oh, yeah, you're talking like the limbs and... personally,
yeah,
I
that
would
sort of
have
effect, but more.
I would have it like down the seams.
Oh, no.
So like... No?
No, that's like this. I'm thinking multiple lines of things right next to each other, like loads.
Potentially. I just feel that may get a bit too overwhelming. I mean, I suppose if it's controlled by the energy color and things, you can actually tone it down and things.
Yeah, of course.
But yeah, so
yeah.
Did you realize that Trinity had that effect on her face?
Yeah, I knew that.
Oh, okay.
Because I used to play Trinity a lot.
Okay. It's fine. Should we move on?
Better nerve Trinity.
Oh my god.
Last one. I would like to see this type of frame have an innate codec scan ability. It seems like it'd be really fitting. Yeah, innate abilities aren't heard of, as Zephyr has an innate gravity debuff, even though it is very small. She's a bird frame, so it works. This guy literally has an ability called Analyze.
I am in agreement with that, but I'd probably make it that it's, you know, that they have like infinite codec scanners as part of their gear, but also they're really fast codec scanners. Yeah. So that you know how long it takes to actually scan an item with the codec scanner, even with all the widgets and things to make it faster.
Yeah, but you don't need that.
Yeah. No, you don't. But I was saying that I think this would be really good if, as a passive, it's just like, oh yeah, super fast, super fast.
Oh, that even the codec spanner is faster, is what you're saying.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because even that's not really quick enough though. Because if I can get
What? That's not quick enough. Get it faster. Get it fast. Fast.
you probably can't read that.
No, I can't.
Astral Autopsy. Fatal strikes against an enemy also perform codec scans. Scans require an equipped codec scanner and an available charge.
Fair enough.
So, sword hits can cause scans.
Yep.
It's because they don't want you scanning in space. That doesn't matter because they're killing everything.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, I've got a question I'm really looking forward to your response of in the comments. Anyway, and speaking of that, actually, that is the last of that topic. So, what do we feel about syntax?
I think it is a very good baseline concept. It's probably one of the tamer of
the
Warframe concepts we've seen.
It's very old school. Very each thing just does a thing, and you go, okay, I want to use this thing, rather than right, you cast Identity Thief and then Analyze, and that adds stacks onto widgets that then you use in the glitch phase, and then you roll dice.
Yeah, I think the only ability I want to just rewrite, which we've already, is the fourth ability. I think what we've come up with in terms
and glitch,
of
third and fourth.
No, I mean complete rewrite.
Oh, okay.
I mean, yes, the third one does the changes.
I think we really apart from one, I think we did a lot of rewriting actually.
Fair.
I do like the idea of a digital warframe. I do like the concept they're trying to go for in theme. I think the visual could use a bit of an update. Obviously, it's 2015 because it's very, very simple. It's very cabalish, I'd like to say. The looks, and then it needs to aim high. Oh, especially we did glitch as well, because glitch is basically Protea's ultimate. Glitch is Protea's ultimate.
Okay.
So there's no reason to have that in again. So yeah, we redid that one as well. But I like the idea and the theme.
Oh wait, was Glitch the rewind time one?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Data stream was the link to allies and take stuff without taking stuff that takes their damage and then damage reduces and does damage and just like this is too much.
Yes. No, you're right. Okay, cool. Right. Well, that's it for the topics. Should we move on to the graphs
and clear the topics? Let's forget that one, and then I go to the graphs.
Do you want to hit the graphs button?
Oh, I should probably do that first, and let's go back.
It's there. Fine. Right. So moving on to the graphs, the first.
There we
go. The first graph we have is how do you feel about the first Archon sortie? And you did actually get to do this. So where were you in with the first Archon sortie?
Quite neutral about it, actually. I wasn't impressed by the sortie. Yeah, the first I did the first two. So the first one was a mobile defense, and I just spammed frost bubbles, and we got it through. I just felt like you could just ability spam through it, even with the putting down pads. I could put down enough pads. It was fine. The second one was the lit defense. And I just took the job of, okay, that I found the hardest to find the group, that second one. So many times there'd be a group, there wouldn't be groups. So I'd just be start solo, and then I'd have to try and put together. Eventually I found a group, and I just took the job of, okay, I'm going to play Limbo, and every 30-odd seconds or so, I had to just push the guy into the void just to keep him alive. And then I actually used up all my revives, because I would fall over, but he wouldn't. It was just getting silly. It was just like, I didn't see that as a positive thing. Yeah, I downed. I didn't put myself in the void, which is the mistake.
There were no revives.
Yeah.
You couldn't self-revive.
Oh, was I getting picked up then? I don't know.
Yeah, you have to have been picked up. You can't self-revive in that one.
Ah, okay.
I don't think you can self-revive in this one either.
I don't know. I eventually just got killed, and I was like, okay, whatever. And then the last one, I just felt was just I don't think it's fun it's fun to see its content, and I get to play Warframe, but I just felt it was just a massive bullet sponge that didn't do very much.
Agreed.
And how I didn't get when it's separated out and there was 3 of the little floating ones with utility belts, because I'd shoot the belts and they wouldn't explode until eventually they would, but it was weird. And then sometimes the things, the orb above it. God, yeah, that's sense. Okay.
I don't know how you didn't get it. I mean, I fucking got it. It's like, oh, look, there's an orb above it. Can I shoot that? Yes.
I think I just hit it with abilities accidentally then, and then just shot the thing. I was like, okay, now I can blow its the pads. Okay, yeah, whatever. And then the thing was just a bullet sponge, and I just had the optical with me, which I think, talking to you, said sniper rifle was good, so my optical probably just slowly chewing through its health, and I was like, okay.
I'm in the negative for this because I felt I liked the mobile defense because it felt like an actual proper challenge. The defense is just like every other fucking sortie defense. It takes a fucking eternity.
Oh, it took forever, and it wasn't hard. It was just use it with limbo, and then just people would just kill things, and it was just the guy eventually got, and his animations bugged out. He got stuck in a corner. And I just sit there, just constantly just sending him into the void. It was just hilarious. It's not good gameplay. It's not good content.
So I think those defense tiles work better when there's a defense pod, not a defense dude, right? Because the AI pathing tends to struggle. The Mars one is not as bad as the Earth one.
Yeah, the Earth one's terrible.
Regardless. And the boss was such a fucking bullet sponge, which is actually the next graph. The first time I did it, the damage I was dealing was in like 2000s, like, so I was doing
off. I should probably
when I got the Rubico, I was doing anything from 9,000 at base to about 70,000, right? And it's just like, honestly, it was just too much of a bullet sponge. I haven't managed to do the second one yet. So the second graph is, do you feel the first Archon was too much of a bullet sponge? 9% said, I haven't done it yet. 27%. Oh, actually, these numbers have changed on mine. 30% have said no, and 61% said yes.
Yeah.
So I very much felt like it was too much of a bullet sponge. And we'll move on to the next one.
Yeah.
Sorry, I missed that. The graphs look very similar. Do you feel the individual stages of the Archon sortie were too long? 9% said I haven't done it yet. 22% said yes, and 70% said no. I'm sorry. Like, it's really weird how people have said no, they're not too long. Yet the Archon itself was a bullet sponge boss, and everyone's complained about the duration of the defense.
It's too long.
I'm surprised.
Defenses is just too long if they're 10 waves for sometimes, because they're like, oh, that's enough. It's like, no, 10 waves in some areas is not the same as 10 waves in other areas.
Yeah, so personally, I feel that we should stop doing like the Archon sorties. I'm fine if it's harder, like just let's crank up the difficulty even more, but make it 5 waves and just give us extra stages. Like, give us a 4th stage, right? If you're really dead set on us doing 10 waves of a fucking defense, just give us another stage. I'm sorry, I'm sick to death of sitting around waiting for enemies to come to me. Yeah? Yeah. I would be happier with kill 300 or 400 enemies in an exterminate than I would doing a defense.
I'd be happy to kill 1,000 enemies.
I don't know if I'd go that far, but that is a very tempting offer still.
I still, at least I'd feel I'm progressing rather than, it'd be against hard enemies. I'd actually have to fight my way through and slowly do it. Rather, defense is just like, oh my god, I have to keep this thing alive that's suicidal and doesn't make sense. Why am I trying to keep this clearly suicidal individual alive? Oh, I can give them my gun to run around with. Okay, that's good. Oh, they're good. They're glitching in a corner while sitting in their own urine. I don't know. It's just so stupid. Mine actually got stuck and it was firing a laser beam towards the middle of the map permanently while also shooting. It was so glitched out. You gave him a gun? Yeah.
Oh, I took the gun off it.
Yeah, no, it comes with the gun. You give it your gun, then you can take your gun off, and eventually it just bugs out.
Oh, what? It was still somehow firing a laser with no gun.
Yeah, I think someone else gave it a gun that was a laser beam, and then I then took that off them and gave them back my gun, but they still had that laser beam that was permanently stuck firing towards the center of the map.
Okay, fine.
It's hilarious.
Right, next one. That's the wrong one. It's graph 4. All right. How do you feel about the proposed Sentinel rework? 14% said negative, 29% said neutral, and 57% said positive. It's fair. The next thing was kind of surprising. What type of companions do you primarily use? So 0% said mowers/hounds. Pardon me. 9% said kubros/predasites.
What's a hound?
You know, the hounds that you get from the Sisters of Parvos.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love how they added mowers to the game and they're not mowers. And they added hounds to the game and they're not Sanuka. Like, you had one job. You failed at both.
You could put a hyena in that.
Yeah.
No.
I love it. It's like, we want this. Yeah, no. Why haven't I got a meme of, I want a Sanuka when I get home. We have Sanukas when you get home, and it's just a hound. It's like, I want mowers when we get home. We got mowers at home, and it's like those things. Because they are not. They are rubbish. They don't look the same. They don't feel the same. Don't give a really cool thing that I really associate with in the game, and then like, oh, here's your version of it. And it's like, it's like, I want Lego, and you gave me Mega Blocks. I'm just like...
Anyway, so 9% said kubros/predasites, 35% said sentinels, and 57% said kavats/vulpafilers. So yeah, cat's best animal companion. Proven. Right. The next one is, have you ever seen anyone use the Asima for automation? It should be as depicted by Loz. So obviously last week you showed it off.
Yeah.
41% said yes and 59% said no.
Maybe it was more commonplace than we thought.
Yeah, I just don't. I think I remember talking to Nazareth about it. He has seen it, but it was a case of like, it was a long ass time ago. So, right. And then next we have, how do you think the Asima should have been changed? 9% said cap the damage output of the turrets. 23% said DE's 10-second cap is fine. 32% said cap the number of turrets. And 36% said turrets are only active while the player isn't recognized as AFK.
I don't think that was enough.
Huh?
I don't think that was enough.
You don't think that's enough?
Well, they were lasting, remember, 10 minutes, Drew. 10 minutes.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Yeah. I agree with you. Personally, I would cap the number of turrets. Yeah. That's my... Yeah. And then last but not least, we have the stupid question. So how would you improve the Sentinel rework? 17% said after ranking them up and befriending them, it's only fair to let them be free in the Origin system with their own kind. I mean, seriously, who needs Sentinels to win the Outer Terminus League when you have genetically defective dogs running amok? Yeah. Then we had 22% said, do nothing and let the Sentinels be let the Sentinel uprising. Oh, God. Do nothing and let the Sentinel uprising begin with the birth of SpaceNet as the Origins system's first instance of AI, and it launches all the crazy ordnance that was used in the Call of Tempestari that created the black hole to destroy Vala's ship. You know the one. Genuinely, I could not find out what the name of that weapon was. Right, I looked it up and like on the wiki and things, it was just ordnance. 26% said upgrade them. Does it have
a name? Because you can only see...
I swear it has a name. I swear it has a name.
How can you see it, though?
Because I'm pretty sure... oh, God, what's his name? Cephalon... Red Rubik's Cube. Fuck, what's his name?
I don't think he names it, but I think it's just like shoot them.
I swear someone names it.
Well, if it was in the game, then what you should have done is just watched a playthrough.
I could have, but I was also doing my job.
What? Was you just coming up with stupid things for the...
No, as in my actual job. As in,
that is,
making... Okay. Anyway, 26% said upgrade them to giant squid-like machines governed entirely by AI used to hunt down the remaining human resistance. And then 30% said something involving Elon Musk.
There we go.
There. So that is it for the graphs. It's time for the supporter questions.
Okay, then. So we've got Zrugal with a font labeled lower upper light. Very all caps, it seems. Xeno, did we do the like and subscribe bit at the beginning of the show? Because I feel like we've been doing much better with that lately. Let's see, it says that. With that lately.
Okay.
But I, MDRLOz, am not sure we did that this time. If not, here's a perfect opportunity to do so. Now, before I start the supporter questions. Randomly, S's are just lower than the rest. Okay. Did we do that?
No.
Do you think DE wants players to use the landing site instead of the orbiter?
Yes. And now I've actually set mine to the landing site because there's actually a reason to be on the landing site.
Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what they should have done. Yeah, it should have just been the landing site from then on and just a permanent change.
Though I have a question for you. How would you feel, right, if instead of having that weird portal thing, you have your Lasette, the ramp's down, and it's open, and you could just bullet jump up into it? Would you prefer to have that or the stupid portal thing?
Not really fussed.
Fair.
It now works really quickly. That's the key thing.
Yeah.
A Nazareth is all you need. Now that you've properly experienced the Veilbreaker mission, what do you think of the slower, more methodical nature? The what? Oh, the Veilbreaker mission is in the. Have you done them yet?
Yeah, I've done mine. I quite liked it. I liked the change of pace. Mine bugged out at one point. So one of the tasks you have to do is basically do it without dying, right?
Yeah.
And I was on a console. I was doing console-y hacky things, and I just died. And I'm like, what the fuck happened? So yeah.
So can you do some of the objectives on one run and then?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So I basically did it. I failed all the objectives. Second time I did it, I completed all but one of the objectives.
Oh my god! What was the term? We used to call that an Obama.
What?
Missions. So yeah, no. Basically, it's the same as like Pharmacy Brave Exodus, which is an app game I play, where sometimes each time you do a boss or something, there's like 4 objectives to do, but there's like one is kill the boss, but you don't.
Yeah.
You could do them in other runs. You don't have to do them all in one go. But there was all missions one run. No, that's not an Obama. I swear there was a term for it. I'm going to look it up what it was. So you just do one run and you achieve all the objectives. That term. I'll look it up. A royalist only for Liz. That's treason. While DE are trying to give us.
Did you answer the second part of the question?
Oh, sorry. Sorry, Nazareth is all you need. Follow-up question. Do you think the first Veilbreaker mission is too easy in terms of a fail state?
No.
There we go. Is that, you don't elaborate or?
No, I honestly liked it. It was there were some instances where I was caught off guard. Other instances where like, oh look, I mean, doing it. I think you should be able to do it once and just flub it, and then the second time is like, okay, I'm doing this the second time, and I'm more aware of what the hell I have to do. So yeah.
A royalist only for Liz, which is treason. While DE are trying to give us more content that we can playtest for devs over on Soulframe, do you think that one day they'll have an update that actually remembers the Z-axis exists, so that it doesn't break boss animations or movement? What are they trying to give us more content that we can playtest for the devs over on Soulframe?
Basically, they keep on adding more stuff to Warframe, which is just going to end up in Soulframe anyway.
Like what?
Do you think that... What bosses bug if you do stuff with Z-axis? I mean, no. The answer is no. I don't think they're ever going to address many of the issues involving the Z-axis.
I think they're too deeply baked into the game.
Yeah.
Also, give me back my bloody 6 Degrees of Freedom Arcwing, damn it.
I wonder when we're going to... so if we're going to see any flying based stuff in Soulframe, it's like, nope, we learned our lesson from Warframe, no flying.
Well, the evolution engine. Well, no, unless they design it from the start. If they design it from the start, I'm sure they could do something better with it. But they just
art, but it's just trying to retroactively add it in. It's not been the best.
Yeah.
DE have given us the Prime Resurgence again, fully introducing their second premium currency and giving players more access to relics they choose rather than RNG relics they farm. But it's been 2 months since Dommy Mommy Price was released. Dommy Mommy Prime was released. And in October, it's either going to be the Laser Disco Boy Prime or the Mr. Fister Prime. How do you think DE will handle the Prime Access release when they have Aya and Regal Aya in the mix? Will we be able to stockpile Aya for the new Prime relics, or will DE keep them separate for the 2-year duration until they're vaulted into the Resurgence system? B. But I'll probably move to a 1-year system.
Yeah, who is Disco Boy Prime?
Caliban?
No, it can't be.
Well. Oh, Revenant.
Yeah, okay. And
who's Mr. Fister Prime?
See, I would have thought that was Atlas.
Yeah.
I don't know who it is.
Mr. Fister Prime. Baruch.
I mean, I thought that was Slappy Chappy, but okay.
Yeah.
So I think
Happy Slappy Chappy.
Happy Slappy Chappy. I think what Loz has said, it's going to be option B. So basically, they're going to stay in the rotation for the 2 years, and then they're going to fall into the Regal system. But I do think we're going to keep our Aya, because I logged on earlier today, which is the first time I have done since, or the first time I've seen Vala since the system was brought in. I already had 18 Aya. I'm like, this has to have continued over since I did it the first time.
But you buy relics with that, yeah?
Yes.
So, whoop-de-doo, you bought more relics easier.
I will.
Yeah?
Yeah. And that's it for the supporter question, isn't it?
Cool. Okay, I'm going to leave that up while I just quickly do the community response from last week. Ali Al-Khatib, I would rather have... here's the question, right? Xeno. I would rather... Okay, now change. I would rather we had gotten a Railjack sortie over a sortie with an Archon boss fight at the end.
That sounds like a statement, not a question.
Yeah? What do you think?
I concur.
You want a Railjack sortie? Would you prefer a Railjack sortie? Do you think there should be that should have been the third mission, or would you have liked a Railjack sortie that finishes in an Archon boss fight, or it should have been all Railjack missions? I feel it should be Railjack. It should have been freaking Railjack, because it's like, no, you're going to play Railjack. I don't care what you say. You're going to play Railjack.
I think, fuck it. The third stage of it should be Railjack that ends in
an Archon fight. Yeah, yep, I agree with you. Yeah, should have been. Like, but I like Railjack. Just no, don't care. Don't care. Play Railjack. That's the game now.
Did you fight the snake in the
last week? Was the owl?
No, I know last week was the owl, but in the new war, did you fight the snake as your operator / drifter? What planet were they on?
Gas City, because there's that giant hanging sentient construct on that. If you pick the snake,
right,
which you were like, what the hell is that? It's like you never saw it because you never picked the snake.
Yeah, no, I did the snake on the
third choice. You fought it on the ship.
Yeah. I was trying. What the fuck is the Murex? Is that what the name of the ship is? Yeah, okay, there you go.
Murex. Strombus Void Cells. Nice. Gonna listen to this during my workday. This is one of the reasons I look forward to Mondays.
Yay. Sorry about next Monday.
Zrugal says Xeno looks different.
Yes, because I sorted out, so I trimmed my beard and, made myself look pretty to go to a wedding, and I was in Wales and had good people internet.
King of Gaming says, I'm guessing what is one-shotting you? You were complaining about being one-shot last week.
Yeah.
is a Nama enemy. Seemingly any Nama can either start to glow or spawn glowing. I don't know which, and if you let them charge up, they shoot a big laser. I like the fact that new stuff is weekly because it makes it possible to juggle Archon hunts, calm mission. Oh, sorry. Yeah, so that's probably what was killing you. And then so I like the fact that new stuff is weekly because it makes it possible to juggle Archon hunts, Carl missions, night waves, farming new primes, and what other new stuff gets released. If the content took longer than 1 to 3 days, I'd be way too overwhelmed with stuff when other primes and updates release.
That's a fair point. What was the full list of the things that they said? They said
Archon hunts, Carl missions, night waves, farming new primes, and whatever new stuff gets released.
Because I was going to ask you, how would you feel about the Carl missions being on a 4 or 5 day rotation?
I've not done them yet, but yeah, I don't get. I mean, like I remember back in the day, World of Warcraft and Nixia was on a 4-day rotation, which meant it would shift through the week.
Yeah.
Whereas the other one's on a weekly rotation. It was just fun. Yeah, I think it could be good. You know, nothing too time consuming.
I thought that was Zul'Gurub.
Yes, also Zul'Gurub.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because it was a 10-man, not a 40-man. 20-man? 20-man. Lastly, JJ24. Let companions get knocked out for 30 seconds with an action speed up revival. The highlights of pets should be utility actives. DE should make quality of life changes for people who want to use the other pets. There are a lot of niche fun builds, but players are too hesitant to give up their vacuum and radar. Please don't make pets into another block of Warframe stats.
Agreed.
Yep. Okay, that is
especially considering Archon shards are literally that. Yeah. Here's some Warframe stats. Do you want to hide the supporter questions?
Actually, no, I don't. Well, because I'm going to go back to meme number 1 anyway now. So, time for the meme. Oh, I didn't push the thing. There we go. I'll push this button. Yeah, too late. And then I'll push memes. There we go. Memes. Meme number 1. Just saw an Umbra get hassled, lol. The star check currently. Looks like someone's a little lost.
Oh, that's brilliant. That's brilliant. I like that one.
Moving on to meme number 2, which is just a crying emoji. Warframe. Requires homeless players.
Yep. This is what I was talking about. So, back in 4 weeks.
Oh, it's home.
Home is the highest rank, is the 5th rank. But the stupid thing is, 2 of the blue ones are going to go by before I can get one. Anyway, number 3.
Similar one to last week. I will have your head, Coddy Sog. 1 stolen Azure Archon shard.
Yeah.
So you have chosen death.
Yeah. No. I think I've seen other memes of that, but yeah.
Yeah, it's very a lot of them, yeah. Ammo pads are not really a viable option for some of the AoE weapons, and much less on Steel Path. Dispensary only recover 1.5 ammo for the Kulvazar. You can use primed ammo mutation, though. Veilbreaker drops. Rifle Scavenger and Pistol Scavenger. Players, perhaps I treated you too harshly. Meme number 5. The Star Chart Spartan frame is fun. The Star Chart before and after Veilbreak.
Yep, that's good.
And the last meme of the week is to do with a crossover from a game called Ultra Kill with a creature called what is it called? Minos Prime. So someone made this. Soul Survivor. Crush. Soul Punch Augment. Used on a downed ally to fucking kill them.
What?
I'd equip that.
Oh my god. Just to kill an ally.
Yeah, it's like, I hardly ever cast Soul Punch. If I had Soul Punch that would just, when someone falls over, I could just kill them. Just kill them. I'd be like, yep. You better not fall over in my game. I'm just going to kill you. Yep. So all these memes are from the r/memeframe subreddit. Do check them out. Also, there's a link in the description to a secret meme, which is a video because we only show still images here. And so, yeah, do check that out in the description. We're now going to move on, after I hide these memes, to the community shoutouts of the week. So these are images Xeno has found on the tweets.
And
Twats.
there's many this week because I
Yeah.
thought let's spoil them. I'm going to spoil them this time.
I
Right.
said I was going to spoil people with double memes at some point. I don't know when that was supposed to be. Is that when's
Yeah.
our anniversary for like the
13th of October.
right? I think that was what I promised. So sometime around there, you got double memes. So anyway,
Right, the first community shout out is It's Been Raining by Jorial. Jorial has unfortunately become ill due to the rain, but Avara Prime
it's
likes
been raining a lot and the cold got me sick. I still like rain, but I hate being sick.
Yep. The second community shout out is Empress by Narabon.
Right.
Yeah, lovely Titania Deluxe there.
Yep.
Third one is Oberon by Arson.
See why you put that in there, but that is a very detailed, lovely image.
Oh, no, I just love the image. I think it's a brilliant image. The fourth community shout out is Blood and Gore Queen Garuda by Death Maggot.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
The fifth community shout out is a 2-panel comic, Tiny Stalker by Al Bao Uwu.
Oh,
No, isn't it Uwu?
that's not an uwu.
What? How do you spell Uwu?
UWU.
Thank you very much. Yes. Oh.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's cute.
Yeah.
Keep him. Nope.
The sixth community shout out is Another Beautiful Girl by Federation.
F4 duration. No, sorry. F4 Duray Zeron.
Yeah. Which is the Protea Deluxe. No, yes. The seventh community shout out is Picturesque by Jenny.
No, it's a picturesque Gara Prime.
I thought it just said picturesque in the text.
No, it's got square brackets.
Oh, my bad.
It's picturesque, but it's a picturesque Gara Prime.
Okay. The eighth community shout out is Nova by Vic/Cleo Natarin.
Wow. So, at a glance, I thought, wait, have they just taken an image from the game?
The ninth community shout out is Final Stand by Kurdy.
Well, it's a good thing you won't be able to recast that before touching the ground.
Yep. And then last but not least...
It is called Final Stand, so you have to stand in between.
Clearly. Right. And then last but not least, number 10 is Harrow Deluxe.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah. Harrow Deluxe by Kim Sunsun.
Oh, nice.
Yep. There you go. Spoiled you guys this week. There you go. And that is it for the community shoutouts. And that's it for this episode. And that's it for this apartment.
Yeah, no more apartment. Another end of an era for Xeno and apartments.
Yeah.
How many apartments? Which apartment were you living in when you first started playing Tenno Clock? We started doing Tenno Clock. 2013.
For the love of God, I don't know.
Surely it must have been near the 5 ways ones.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was.
Yeah.
Many moons ago.
Many moons. Well, hopefully, have good internet, and we'll start upgrading and doing things. So, in 2 weeks' time, taking a break off. We'll see you guys in 2 weeks now, and yeah.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.